So back when I was 18, 19, I had a Russian friend, right, whose dad may or may not have been mob affiliated to this day. Still don't actually know. Some people might be able to clarify it, and I'll tag them. Let them figure it out. But he ends up showing up in this brand new Cadillac one day, and we're all quite confused how a 19, 20-year-old was able to afford a Cadillac, you know. And he says, uh, if you want to make money, you just go to Staples and you make money. And long story short, what he meant by that is he managed to get a hold of the linen paper they used to print money on and fucking jammed the copier full of that shit and laid all his 20s out on top of the glass and made fucking thousands of copies of the same set of $20 bills. And so someone told him, like, dude, money has serial numbers on it, man. You can't just fucking copy the same bills over and over again. And you know, like, you know, that's serious. Like, that's fucking money. That's it's counterfeit, dude. Like, it's federal time, you know. And he says, if I give you $20 bill, you look at serial number? I don't, but the fucking bank does. And you just left $30,000 to $40,000 with the dealership. Where do you think they're taking that? You know, throw it in a fucking hole in the ground. So I guess he takes that message to heart and fucking goes around town and starts fucking changing out 20s with all of our friends who worked at like retail places and fast food joints and gas stations and all that shit, right? And he's just changing out 20s all over town. And a couple weeks later is when all that fallout comes through. And a little bit of backstory. When I was a kid, people used to, like some people in my family that would travel for business would come home and give me foreign money. And I don't know why. I don't ask. I don't know why. I had fucking pesos from all over South America. I had fucking German marks and euros and British pounds and fucking rupees and all that shit. And I had it in a box, and it just stayed there for years. And I had fucking 30,000 pesos, Brazilian pesos. And back in the day when I got them, it was probably like enough to go get a candy bar, maybe, you know, maybe a Coke too. I don't know. But years later, they ended up back in their currency, the Brazilian peso, with the U.S. dollar, and stabilized our economy. Long story short, a Brazilian peso is worth almost as much as a dollar. So I basically had like $27,000 and some change sitting in Brazilian pesos. Turns out the money was too old. It had been changed over, but that's neither here nor there. I had sent fucking 30,000 Brazilian pesos to the currency bank trying to fucking get 30 grand back because I figured it's a whole lot of money for me to get in trouble with. So why the fuck not? And that was that. I mean, the whole process was long as fuck back in the day. You mailed it in. It took months. You know, they'd send you a receipt and they do their money currency exchange thing, some bureaucracy shit. I don't know, but it takes a while, so I knew it would. And so this is before the whole Cadillac incident, so I had completely forgotten about it. Pretty much, I wasn't even thinking about it. I mean, I was doing a lot of non-reputable things, you know. I was dealing in non-conference approved substances. Let's call them that, non-conference approved substances. And I was getting to the point where I had to go and re-up and, you know, pay this large Puerto Rican man in Plainfield a lot of money. And I always went with my best friend, just to have a little bit of backup, even though it really didn't mean anything. And so, you know, he would come over and we'd just roll. But he doesn't show up that day. And it wasn't like I could call him as before everybody had cell phones and shit. Like, I think I sent him, I beeped his pager and never got anything back. So I didn't go. And a day or two later, he shows up. And I said, dude, what the fuck? You know, what happened? He's like, oh yeah, sorry about the other day. You know, I was on my way over here and a fucking van pulls off the side of the street. Fucking hijacks my ass over to the police station in Flemington and fucking sitting there and fucking FBI's in town and the U.S. Treasury Department, and they're asking all kinds of questions about this person and that person and, you know, who works where and all this kind of stuff, and they're asking questions about you. They're asking about me. What the fuck do they want to know about me? So where did you get $30,000 in Brazilian pesos? And I was like, fuck, they know about that? I completely forgot about that. So, you know, it didn't really actually mean anything because, like I said, the money was too old. It was devalued. But I guess it drew enough red flags that, you know, they were already there investigating everybody. So let's ask. You know, nothing ever came of it as far as, you know, my end. I never gotten any real shit, but I was sitting on, man, almost an ounce of that non-conference approved substance that we were talking about before, and I knew that that wasn't a good idea. So I took that over to my girlfriend's at the time and asked her to, you know, sit on it for a little bit just till the heat dies down, and when everything pans out, come back, collect it, you know, flip it fast, and fucking go pay this dude so I don't die. And you know, a couple after about a week or so, pretty much everyone I knew in town gotten arrested for various thanks. Got arrested for a couple of various charges, mostly dealing with counterfeit money and all that shit, and nothing ever happened on my end. I never had any interaction with law enforcement, you know, nothing. So I figured everything was good. You know, I went back over to my girlfriend and said, "Yeah, I need to get that shit so I can, you know, pay this dude and not get murdered." She's like, "Oh, funny thing about that, it's gone." I said, "What the fuck do you mean it's gone? Just a fucking ounce." She said, "Yeah, my grandmother found it." I'm like, "Your grandmother didn't find shit. She would have blown me off the goddamn porch with a shotgun before I knocked on the door." And she said, "Well, it's gone." I was like, "Okay, so you and all your hood rat friends had a fucking party sponsored by me. That's great. Meantime, I gotta go back to Plainfield, talk to this dude and tell him why I don't have his fucking money." I also incidentally tell this story when people ask why I got sober at such a young age and why I don't drink and all that kind of shit, because this is not the first time, nor was it the last time that I got into these kind of scrapes because of the people I associated with. I had to go up and tell this dude in fucking Plainfield that I didn't have his money, and I've got the scars on my fucking shoulder to prove how fucking well that went down. So, yeah, that's my story. Hope you like it.